I'm Caroline Curran, Brunswick Beacon staff writer, and we're continuing our community conversation about healthcare reform. We're joined today by Ginny Quaglia, who's a local Republican activist in the community. Welcome, Ginny.
Thank you, Caroline.
What are some aspects of healthcare reform that you would like to see included in some of these various bills pending before Congress?
The number one thing that I would like to see that no one seems to be, it seems to be discussed, everyone says it needs to happen, but it's never been really addressed, is tort reform.
Okay.
And I would like to see that, number one. I would like to see the whole reform issue start there and work piecemeal through the different issues. Try one thing, see how it works, then move on to the next reform issue, such as let's have insurance, purchasing insurance across state lines. You notice when you go to buy auto insurance, you can call these different companies and you see them all advertised on television. And you can choose your one that has the best rate for you, that offers you the menu choices that are applicable to your situation. You notice you can't do that in healthcare, and what they're trying to, I think, push on us is everyone must have the same plan, or you will be penalized or taxed if you have a Cadillac plan, if you can afford that. So that, again, the punishment of success and the redistribution of wealth to try to make an equal playing field for everyone.
And you mentioned tort reform. I'm assuming that you're talking about medical malpractice suits.
Correct.
Reform there.
Correct.
And as far, I've heard a lot about tort reform too, but as far as you know, has that been addressed in any of these bills?
No, no, because the trial lawyers are a huge contributor to many, many politicians. And I'm not even going to say Democrats specifically. I think that Republicans and Democrats they all know how to where to get their money. And I think it's largely to the Democratic Party and helped Obama get elected from the trial lawyers, but I'm not going to say it's exclusive to the Democrats.
Okay. And back to the healthcare reform aspect of it, there's been a lot of talk about this, what's become known as the public option.
Correct.
How do you feel about the public option?
Again, I think the public option is a income redistribution scheme. I don't feel that the public option is, if you want, again, the level playing field for these numbers of people that they say are truly uninsured. But I go back to the fact that we're in an economic crisis that they call a crisis. We're addressing all these big major overhauls of our economic system, and this is 1/6 of our economy. This whole healthcare issue is 20% almost of our entire economy. So to rush this through and try to push it all, a massive experiment on us all at once, I just think it has nothing to do with health or care. I think it's more about control and power.
Okay. Going back to the numbers, the numbers of the uninsured, the numbers that you referenced were what are what have been predicted by both the Census Bureau and the Congressional Budget Office, that roughly 45 million.
Right.
And you dispute the number, saying that's closer to 12 or 13 million. Beyond basic emergency room care, which of course if they're uninsured, we're all paying for anyway.
Right.
What would you like to see included in reform so that those 12 or 13 million people, have access, not given affordable care, but access to affordable health care?
I think they have talked about, I'm not real big on this, up on this issue, but I think some of the suggestions have been to have more clinics, walk-in clinics for them, and to maybe have them pay a little bit. When you pay a little bit for something, you respect it a lot more than if you're just given something. And I think that's so inbred in some of these people's minds now, that this entitlement mentality is ruining our country. But if you have to work for something and pay for it a little bit, you have much more respect for it. That would be a suggestion. And I just think that we could take, again, some of that stimulus money and actually give these people money to buy their health care. Rather than overhaul a whole system for trillions of dollars, we could spend a lot less and just insure the uninsured. So that would be my suggestion. I think compassion is great, but my compassion lies in the fact of keeping 314 million people in this country free. That's where my compassion lies.
So just to wrap things up, as far as what are some of the, if you were sitting on one of these committees, or you had direct access to your senator, and really, could be right in their ear, what are let's say 2 or 3 things, just in closing, that you really want to see included in this reform that will make it successful?
My number one pet peeve, is the fact that they will not let us read any of this before they vote on it. And we were promised so much transparency from Obama during his campaign, and now it's like the least transparent government that we've ever witnessed. They talked about George Bush doing things. My gosh, they voted against transparency on this bill. And so there's a group, both Democrats and Republicans, trying to get this language written, I think some kind of a bill, so that they have to post it, give it 3 days.
The 72-hour rule, yes.
Yeah, so I can only hope, but I see that Democrats are voting against all of this kind of stuff. So that is just criminal to me. If this is so good for all of us, A, they won't take it themselves. They won't sign on to it. B, they won't let us read it. They're cutting special interests so they don't have to follow the rules in certain states. Well, why would they cut a deal on something that's so good for all of us? So they know it's bad if they're opting out of their own constituencies. It makes no sense to me how they think we're so stupid that we can't see this is a big, big power play. So that's what I would really like to see. Transparency, slow it all down, make it open, and have a real honest discussion about some real honest solutions.
Okay, well, Ginny, thank you for a lively discussion.
Thank you, Carolyn.